Hello, it's me again. Yeah, I'm not feeling very well today actually. I'm feeling a bit under the weather. I've got stomach pains and just feel a bit off. So I'm not going to be on long, maybe 20 or 30 minutes. I've just got a few things that I want to just share. You know, people are bored, nothing much to do. I watched a live stream this morning actually from Stephen O'Leary. If nobody joins, nobody joins. It's stuff I'm going to be doing anyway. I'm just going to get on with it. So the first thing we're going to do is just shoot over the other side of the room and pick up where I left off yesterday, I think. Because I didn't really do much following the stream I did yesterday. Let me just see if I can get the thing up on the Mac. Live streaming, just bear with me if you have joined, if anybody has joined. Here we go, let's click on that. Sorry, I know you can't see what I'm doing, I'll be with you in a sec. Stream status is bad. I keep getting this bad stream status when I'm streaming from this phone. Oh no, it looks like using an older version of your browser. Oh, this is a real pain. Let me show you this. It's like, I don't know what's happened to YouTube, but since yesterday, I cannot get chat up on this Mac. It's yeah, it's really annoying. Might have to try and use chat on my phone if I do get any questions. Hang on a sec, just give it a minute. Hang on, I've got that there, click that there, that might work. Let's try that. I can pause it. I'm gonna get a bit of feedback here. Yeah, there we go. Woo, I've got chat, thank goodness for that. Right, that's that sorted out. So, without further ado, I'll just wheel you over here and point you at this board. So, the board we were working on yesterday, you know, the one that was giving us a yellow screen, we left that video, we fixed it, so it was no longer giving us a yellow screen. You might remember that when I was testing the IDE card here, the first time it wouldn't boot. It started, didn't it? It was flashing away, and it just seemed to go on forever and ever. Hello, Joseph Neal, Mike Pearman. Hi guys. Yeah, I know this stuff might be getting boring because I'm covering the same sorts of things. So I'll try and move on to some other stuff at some point, perhaps not in this video. But I'm doing it anyway. As I said at the start of the video, I'm doing this, so I thought, why not share it? It's just something, it's content. If 90% of people avoid it, fair enough, they've got other things to do, and it might just appeal to someone. Yeah, so this compact flash card yesterday, when we first tried to boot from it, it wasn't working, was it? We got it working with floppy drive, and then I went back to the compact flash card, and it started to boot, and we got a Guru, and then powered it off and powered it on, and it seemed all right there on, from there on after. So that was bothering me. That was niggling away in the back of my mind, thinking there must be something strange going on with that. So all I did last night is I took the compact flash adapter out. I'll take it out now. This isn't the same one. Got two of these. I bought two from China. One was completely dead. You can see it's not very good quality. You see the solder in here? I bought two of these. One was completely dead. It would not work. And in fact, when you tested it on a 4000 like this, it would just black screen. It wouldn't boot. You wouldn't see the LED come on and just wouldn't boot. So I knew there was something very wrong with it on one of them. But the one that was working, I thought, I wonder if it's just a bad solder point because these are so cheap. And I inspected, and yeah, one or two of the solder points here on the actual connection on the bottom weren't great. And you can still see they look awful. It's lead-free solder. So all I did is I put a bit of flux on there yesterday, and I reflowed the connector, reflowed that little resistor array down there, and I plugged it back in, and it's worked. It's worked every single time since. And I did the same thing with the one that wasn't working. I actually fixed that. I've got a video on it. It's nothing exciting. It's a 3-minute video. I'll upload it at some point. I'm not in a rush to get that up. Yeah, so both of those compact flash adapters now work, and they work 100% on this board. So I guess that's something to think about. You know, don't just consider there might be something wrong with what you're looking at. It could be what you're using to test with, and that's exactly what it was. It wasn't the compact flash card being loose in the slot. It was a bad point on the thing there. So hang on, where's the SIM gone now? There we go. So let's get the 2 meg SIM. On the subject of these, I ordered an 8 meg double bank SIM. It's non-EDO. It's standard DRAM, fast paging, 60 nanoseconds. So when that arrives, that should mean I can boot both boards. So I'll just get the RAM back into this. We'll just boot this one up. I'll just leave it on test whilst we go and fit the F86 to the other board. Have I got one of the wrong sims in there? Yeah, I've got Toshiba. Let's just pull that out. It will work. You can mix and match sims, but you know what? If you can, try and go with the same manufacturer. So I've gone with all Gold Stars, all 70s. The exception will be the chip RAM sim that I've ordered, you know, the 8 meg one. And an 8 meg one will work. You just get 2 meg. It'll take a meg off each side, I think. Yeah, try and get sims that match if you can, but you can mix and match with manufacturers generally. But you can't use Edo sims in these, and unfortunately a lot of the double sided ones, you know, the double bank ones, seem to be Edo. Anyway, so that's the RAM in there, everything's in there. Oh yeah, the mouse. As we left things yesterday, the mouse wasn't working, was it? I can perhaps show you that later. All I did is I traced connectivity, as I started to show yesterday, from the 74 HCT 166 here to the little wires, up here. And I wasn't getting anywhere with it. It was proving really difficult to diagnose. In fact, I'll show you what I did. I'll just move the camera over here a little bit. I'll switch it on, bring the logic probe over. Now, I've got the joystick here. So the joystick, in fact, it doesn't really matter which. Oh no, it does. Let's just unplug that. Let's plug the joystick in here. Just make it a little bit easier because I know exactly which pins to probe. And as I said yesterday, this strip of wires here, you know, if you probe one of them, you see we've got high there. I think that's right, actually. We should have a high there. And if there you go, press which direction was that? Right. I'm pressing right on the joystick. Can you see it toggles between high and low? So that's what you need to do. You need to go for each of the directions, you know. So I was looking for left, right, up, down, just to make sure they're all working. So my right's working, and then I went to the next one. Which one's that one? That one's left. You can see that one's working. You can have two different scenarios here. You'll either find it's not high to start with, it's low, in which case it's one of the pull-up resistors here. So you've got to follow the trace and measure, you know, use PCB Explorer, and you'll find you've got a missing connection to one of the, some of them are on the underside, by the way, these resistors. There's a bank of resistors on the underside. So if it's stuck low, yeah, you'll have the missing pull-up there. But in my case, it was low but not going high, and it was a bad connection. There were two bad connections on this port, because when I took these off, the corrosion around here was extensive. It was terrible, bottom and top, and I lost a number of pads on top, and one or two of the pads on the bottom they didn't come off, they just weren't great, and that's what it was. So the mouse is now working. So let's just switch that off again. I've just realised I need to connect the power here for the IDE. So it just booted to the workbench screen, you know, the Kickstart, you know, stick your disc in type screen. Plug the mouse in, switch it on. Yeah, so I interrupted myself before. As I was saying, the F86, I ordered it yesterday. It's arrived already. It arrived this morning. It's incredible. I think it's because maybe the postal service is not getting quite as much demand as usual, which means, yeah, I got an instant delivery from the chip I ordered on eBay. It was pretty hard to find an F86, actually. There was loads in China, but for, well, you know, reasons we all understand just at the moment, I didn't really want to order one from China. But you can see the mouse is working fine there. It's also worth mentioning, just in case you didn't spot it yesterday, after the live stream there, I uploaded a short video of about 2 minutes just to show you that I'd spotted that IC wasn't soldered on level. I was horrified actually watching it back on the live stream video afterwards. I couldn't believe how I couldn't see it. I just couldn't see that, because normally when I'm fitting chips, I'm using magnification to do the stuff whilst I'm doing it. Sorry I'm not responding to anything. I'll catch up with chat in a minute, and then when I'm over there, I'll keep a close eye on the chat as we go along. So what was going to load here? Let me load one of the pinball games. Pinball Illusions, maybe. Not all these games will load on this machine, as I mentioned, and it's the same with the other board. The exact same games that don't work on this board don't work on the other board, and it's something to do with this compact flash card I'm using. It's going to be something to do with the startup stuff and the way WHD load is configured. It might be configured to use expected MMU, because I've not got one. It's yeah, some stuff just doesn't seem to work with it. It's really weird. But I found that same thing when I was testing Katha's machine as well. So you know, it's all about, you've got to have the right compact flash card. You know, it's got to be set up properly. So let's load that one. That's AGA. That should work. It's going to be a good test for the graphics and stuff, but the sound and stuff as well. does... I missed that message then. Just bring the Mac over while you... hang on. Is that booting? That's not booting, is it? I have to admit, I found this as well. You see that it started and then it didn't. But it does the same exact thing on the other board. So either I've got the exact same fault on the other board, or it's the compact flash setup. And I'm inclined to think that actually it's just the way WHD loads up on these machines. You know, this compact flash card. Just give me a minute, I'll bring the Mac over a sec. Just need to boot that again. In fact, I'll just do that while it's booting. And then I can answer some questions and things if I need to. Hello, good afternoon, you're live. Hey Chris, in the summer day, buy an Atomic Wave. Yeah, I'd like to buy an Atomic Wave myself. Afternoon Gadget, hope you're okay. Hello Chris. Hi mate, this is brilliant. You give me the confidence to finish the A4000 I have here. That's fantastic. Just take your time with, if you've never done any of this stuff, just take your time and be patient and careful. And there's no reason why many problems you can't fix yourself, even if you've never really done very much repair work in the past. The key really is researching what you need to do, watch other other channels to get the techniques and things, and obviously you need just the basic tools to get going. Blimey, the interface is a bit flickering. Yeah, can you see that? I'm glad that's captured. It flickers when you move it. I don't know what it is. These compact flash cards have been set up with like an interlace mode, I think, and this is this TV. It's an issue with this TV. When it's picking up this particular interlace mode, it flickers like crazy, but it doesn't actually in any other mode. It's just this desktop interlace mode. That's one of the things I don't like about the way these compact flash cards have been set up here, because I didn't set this up. So let's just load that again. Hopefully it'll start this time. If you know what this is, this intermittent sort of thing where, like lots of screens, lots of games just give a black screen. And it's the same on both boards, but I have seen that before, the same behaviour exactly on Cather's CD30, not CD32, it's A4000 that had a 060 processor. It was worse on that. There were many things I couldn't get to work on that. But I could once I got the 060 compact flash card. Let's try that again, see what happens this time. So if we got Means Dad, does the A4000 work or not? Yes, this one does, the other one doesn't, but it should do in a few minutes when we go over there and solder on an F86. Aloha, hi Highlander. Blimey, the interface is a bit flickering, messy, we covered that. You can see though, it's loaded now. And trust me, there's nothing wrong with this hardware. This machine is fine. Let me just try and point you up a little bit. Hopefully the camera won't fall over. I just love the intro to this. I sat here watching it again before for about 20 minutes. I had to turn myself away from it. Buwak, hi. I'm going to turn it down a bit actually, it might be a bit too loud. Love your approach a lot from you, thanks ever so much. It really means a lot because, as I keep saying, I'm a novice, I'm not an expert at this stuff, so anything I can share that helps you, that you find useful or interesting, that's what it's all about really. Sharing a love for this stuff. Sturoro, I thought a TV can handle everything. If that TV went pop, you'd be expect. Yeah, it can, but it's just this interlace mode. It's like I can put an ST on here, all sorts of different systems that typically cause havoc with some TVs. Even the Neo Geo, that's not got it's got a signal that's not quite 60 frames per second, is it? It's not quite 60 hertz. It's like 59.3 or something. And it handles that, no worries. But that interlace mode on the Amiga, it can't handle it. I don't know why. Have you ruled out the TV as the source of that black screen issue? No, it's not the TV. It's definitely not the TV because the sound's connected and the sound's separate. So if say for instance something goes wrong with the display, you still get the sound on this TV. It's definitely, it crashes. It sits there. Hello Chris, how difficult would you say it's to solder a PPC chip onto the Cyberstorm Mark III 060 and put a crystal on it to make it fully PPC board? I've got no idea what kind of PPC chip that is. Is that a PGA chip or is it quad flat pack or what is it? What kind of, the pin, has it got pins underneath it? Has it got pins at the side? Is it designed to be soldered flat onto a board? That music is sweet. I just love the way they've got these, geometry of like spinning around and rotating and stuff. It's fantastic. Retro Revival, hey Chris and Sharp, yep, hi everybody. Chris, you may not be an expert, but you're teach? Yeah, I think, I'm not sure. Yes, pins underneath it, you may not be an expert, but we are learning from you. Thank you very much. And I'm learning from everybody who helps out on these videos, posting comments and suggestions, pointing out where I've made mistakes and dropped a clanger, etc. I learn stuff. Chris, do you have any idea why a power saver would work correct with my C64, but nothing when plugged into a +4, no error lights, just power, just no power? Let me reread that. My reading's not very good. Chris, do you read it? The C64, nothing when plugged into a +4, no error lights. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. The +4, I assume it's got the same power connector as a C64. So you should get something. You should get like the red light coming on or something if it's drawing too much current or something like that. I don't know. What think about that. Hans is here, Buwak, who actually created some of those power savers. So I don't know whether is it Peter? I think it is. I think his name's Peter. I don't know whether Peter's or is it Hans? I always forget. I don't know whether Buwak can answer that. He might have some ideas why a C64 saver won't work with a +4. Anyway, so we'll just leave that. We'll just leave that on test. So I'll just point you down again. So I'll leave it on test. We'll shoot across the other side of the room. I'm going to stick that F86 on the other board, and we'll stick some Kickstart ROMs in there. And now I forget who sent me those Kickstart ROMs. I think maybe it was Alex, who I looked at his Amiga 2000, the clear cased one. I think it was. I think he included a couple of Kickstart 3 ROMs. So we were short of some ROMs. You know, this has got Kickstart 3. The only other ROMs I had here were Diag ROMs. So we've now got another set because I've got those out of my chip storage there, and we'll stick those onto that other board. We'll leave this on test just for a moment. I'll fly across the other side of the room. Hang on, bear with me. And as I say, we'll fit that F86, and I'll show you one of the things around here. Perhaps some of the things that I meant to cover yesterday, videos and subject material for other videos and things like that, donations to the channel, because I keep missing things out. There's just I've got so much stuff around here. It's easy to forget to talk about something or show something that people have provided. So yeah, there's my F86. We'll stick that on in a sec. And I think these came from Alex. It could have been Tom Mees. I can't quite remember. I think it was Alex actually. So thank you very much, whoever sent those. The problem I've got here actually is I'm not sure which one is which. Which one's the low ROM, which one's the high ROM. Just have a look with a magnifier, hang on. Yeah, so the marks, they're MX devices these. Version 3, copyright 1992. Yeah, one's got, hang on, one's got 39.106. Oh, they're both 39.106, yeah, that's right. Well, how do I tell which one's low and which one's high? Yeah, that one ends 4.3, that one ends 4.4, sorry, 4.3, 4.4. So I'm guessing this one's going to be the low ROM, so let's just move that CPU card out of the way. We'll just get the chip out of there. We'll stick these on first before we go over there. The only thing we're going to need to do is take the RAM out of that other board and stick it into here. But it would just be nice, I guess, to get this one back working again with its, because of that missing chip. And then I can just be happy that both of them are working. And all that'll mean, the only thing that needs doing on these two then is the real-time clock on both of them, waiting for chips. And I'll talk about that in a minute as to what the issue is. It isn't just a case of it needs a real-time clock chip. I'm waiting for another chip as well. So that's the first one. Pin 1 that was at the top here. There's a semicircle on the white silk screen there that indicates that. We may have to swap these around if I've got the wrong one in the wrong socket. Let's just check those pins. I don't even know whether these work. They were just donated. So I do have another set of these somewhere actually. I've got, if those don't work, so we'll just put the diagram onto the sponge thing there and then put that out of the way. Yeah, so the soldering iron's on. I'll move the board a little bit, tilt you down, perhaps zoom you a bit so you can see if we could do a slightly better job. I don't know if I can tilt it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, see if we could do a slightly better job than I did yesterday and not have it float up. Yeah, I'm going to move the camera further and further back here. Anyway, you can see the position now. Just catch up with the chat. We'll just get the chip out of here onto the board. I'm just going to touch the light switch actually because I've been moving around a bit. Let's just lob that on if it'll come out. There we go. So pin one marking is up here. Yeah, I might not be on very long because as I said at the start of the stream, I'm feeling a bit sick. I've started with stomach pains, which is really weird. I never have anything wrong with my stomach, so, and I've got a bit of a slight temperature. I don't think it's COVID, but I don't know, you never know. I did read that some people with COVID are starting with stomach pains. So let me just check the chart. So I'm just catching up here. There's quite a few messages I missed there. Christian, we've got the power supply thing on the 264. Wax talking about that. Dave Curran, I think a different one of the 2 9-volt AC lines are switched on the plus 40. It might be detecting that as a fault. Right. Okay. Thanks for that, Dave. I didn't know that. I knew that someone else would perhaps know more about the plus 4. I don't think I've ever seen a plus 4 actually. I might have had one in the day, back in the day, when I was servicing these things for maybe a dirty key or something, you know, something on the keyboard, but I don't think I ever looked at the power side of them. I ran into some issues with my Nomad battery, Chris. The output draws 0.37 amp, yeah, so 0.4 of an amp roughly, unmodded from the machine, but the booster circuit runs at 1 amp. You reckon using a resistor to limit inrush current would be possible, or that instantly fry, you think? Output draws 0.37, but the booster circuit runs at 1 amp. I'm not sure what you mean, the booster circuit runs at 1 amp. What booster? You mean for a normal, do you mean for a normal, hang on, I'm confused now. The Nomad as a whole draws what, 0.4 amps, doesn't it? Yeah? Could you just clarify that? I'm not really sure what you mean. It's pulling 0.4 amp from whatever supply you put in it. Where's the 1 amp come from? In what relation to you talking about 1 amp? Hang on. Retro Marky, haha, yeah, so computers do, we need them, get rid of them. Well, yeah, I was going to mention Retro Marky, I'll show you that later. It's one of the things I'm going to look at in a minute. Anyway, so we got the chip there, let's, I'll try and get it in position. It might be, yeah, you might not be able to see the ear cam this time because I'm zoomed in that close, you might not be able to see me. Apologies if you can. So I'm just going to straighten it. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Let me just move it a little bit. Oh, I don't know, it's hard to tell. It kind of looks straight. Yeah, it's as straight as it's going to get. So I'll do exactly the same as we did yesterday. I'll try and touch the pin. Sorry, not the pin. The pad, not the pin. Oh, we moved it. I knew that was going to happen. Let's just shift it again. It doesn't look straight from above. I'm kind of finicky. There we go. Maybe it's a bit too far down now. Yeah, I'm kind of a bit finicky about trying to get them as straight as possible because it just catches the eye when you look at it and you're like, yeah, that's not on straight. And then it annoys you every time you look at it. So let's just try and add a bit of solder here. Yeah, I'm not sure that's flowed very well to that pin. I'm going to be careful, try and not touch it, and just put a crazy amount of solder on over there. Yeah, that side's definitely on. Now, the thing I didn't do yesterday, and this would have solved the problem, is literally just, I'll try and move this arm around here, just put a bit of pressure as you reheat each one. Can't even see what's going on there. Yeah, that's alright. And that would have solved it. Because what happened yesterday, you know, and it's fun to watch that because it's really embarrassed how bad it was. It's like as soon as I heated this pin here, this side of the chip went way, it went right up. It was like lifted by maybe a millimetre. It was surprising how much it had lifted, actually. So I'll just get a little bit of flux on there. Oh, this tube's nearly out, isn't it? I'm on the last little bit here. You have to start folding the tube to get anything out of it, but anyway. That'll do. Just get some solder on the tip here, and we'll start from that end. Just get a little bit more solder because it's absorbed it there up the pins. Yeah, I've just touched this chip down here. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, there we go. That's that side done. So same over this side. A little bit of solder, and just drag, and then just bob in now. That music is awesome. I love the music on Pinball Illusions. Yeah, there we go. Super clean. So I'll get the cotton bud out. I'll zoom you out a little bit. Just have a quick look for that. It's all right, nice and straight, and it's yeah, it's not floating up like yesterday. So we'll just sorry, I'm moving around a little bit here. Cotton bud. I'm going to clean it up now, and then we don't have to do it later. And then over there, just test that board. I'll see if I can catch up with the messages while I'm doing this. Much better. Thank you. I think that's one of the things when you do a live stream. It's, you know, it's not only is it, I would say, stressful doing live streams, but you know, it puts you under a bit of pressure. You're trying to do multiple things because you do, well, you try. I'm really bad at doing it, but you've got to try and catch up with, keep up with messages and questions and things like that. And in retrospect, there were so many people saying, "Chris, that chip's not flat. It's flatten that chip. You need to flatten that chip." They must have got really frustrated with the lack of interaction. So yeah, that's one thing I need to try and do when I get set up on a table, is you know, have the chat very close to hand so that I can very easily, just at a glance, see what people are saying. Where's that cap gone now? The cap, there it is. So I'll just get a cap of IPA, just brush it. I've been cleaning the metal parts as well. I'll show you that in a sec. There's a metal piece that just goes over the keyboard, the joystick ports there, and they're so super corroded on both boards. But I've cleaned one of them up, it's all right. The sort of thing you'd probably need to respray really if you wanted to, you know, it to look nice afterwards. Yeah, I think that's it. It's just for good measure. Let's just have a thing with a cotton bud here. So the only things I'll be doing to these boards off camera is the final parts before these are completely finished, is just cleaning up the odd thing. You know, this board here, I know you can see there's a scary area here. There's a few bits of copper that I plan to tin up here. This chip is going to have to be swapped out. Coming back to my point earlier about the real-time clock. Yeah, both of these boards need a real-time clock chip, but both of them, well, we've got one real-time clock chip that works, okay? But both boards behave the same way. What happens is, if you test the real-time clock, you can see the time ticking away as normal, but the time and date's not right. As soon as you set it, it goes crazy. It goes absolutely crazy. It does the same on both boards, and I think I know what it is. The chip down here is 74HCT 174. That's what's supposed to be there. The only ones I had or could find at the time were 74HC 174s. It was lacking the T on the end. And I think the real-time clock chip itself must be, I don't know, TTL compatible or something like that. So it needs that T. It needs the HCT version, and that's why both boards behave exactly the same despite all the connectivity being okay. So I'm waiting on those HCT 174s and two real-time clock chips, but I only need one. I'm sure one of them's faulty. You'll see how I came to that conclusion in the actual series when I upload that. So I'll just check the comments. How is the mouse problem coming along? Sorry, yeah, if you missed the start, yeah, I fixed it. It was, I'll flip the board over actually. No, it's not this board, I see the board. I'll flip that other board over when we go over there in a minute and show you. It was just, because the ports, there was a lot of damage around the ports. There was just two traces that were not joined to the pads, despite the fact they looked like they were. Because there was, on that other one, was lots and lots and lots of corrosion here. This board is the one that's not had so much, you know, can you see around here? the area around here it's like pristine. The caps around here haven't leaked, and it's got its original audio connectors on it. That other board has had to have new audio connectors, and there was a ton of work around that area. It was far worse than Cather's board for sure. I mean, the one thing I would say about Cather's board, it was a learning exercise. At that point in time, I wasn't familiar with what voltages went where the voltages came from, etc., etc. So with these, it's been a lot quicker. The actual recap work has taken little time at all, actually. What I did is just use the hot air and flew around the board. Within 5 minutes, every single cap was off the board, and I just started to fit them one after the other, and then did all the cleanup at the end. And I would say after about maybe 20 minutes, I'd recap the board. So the recap work is actually quite easy once you have done one or two of these. So just catch up the comments again. I'm going to scroll back a little bit here. Mike, if you swap the... Okay, I'm just reading what Black said. He's talking about that +4 again. Mats Larsen, Jose Long just mentioned that. Timo Momo, sorry if I mispronounced that. That's the nice guy from Finland. Cream of the Earth by Romeo Knight is a great mod. I'll check that out. 3 gadget streams in a row. Well, yeah, it's as I said on the start of the first stream, you might have missed. Because I'm on furlough, effectively, I can't work at the moment. I cannot work. I'm not supposed to work for like, well, I can't work. The company I work for has, you know, ceased trading for the moment whilst this furlough period is going on, because they cannot get sales because all of their customers are closed. You know, everyone's isolated, working from home, etc. So, yeah, while I'm doing this stuff anyway, everybody else is locked down, everyone's frustrated and stressed with it, so why not share some of the stuff as I'm going along, because it means I've got more videos up there, stuff for you guys, and it doesn't really have much complexity in terms of what I'm doing. It's just having to talk and check the chat every now and again, really, and try and do the best with the camera. Okay, so let's shoot across into the room, I think. 8-Bit Dreams, hello everybody, hi. Nice to see you here again. Right, so let's take this board. Yeah, hopefully I've not missed anything here. Just put that back down there. Hang on. So I'm just going to put that on top of that drawer for a minute, carefully, dangerously balanced. And let's just tilt the camera back up a bit, zoom you out. So switch that off, just touch the power supply, let's disconnect everything. Power, IDE. I also recapped the other CPU card the other day as well, so both of the CPU cards have already been recapped. So you can see this is the one we're looking at with the yellow screen. I'll show you those two traces if I just flip it over. So we already had a couple of wires here, because as I say, the corrosion was extensive and it was on both sides, and it was awful, really awful. So where's the fix now? I can't see it, I don't think. Oh yeah, I can. You can see one little wire there. Can you see that? Just from that black component there to the joystick pin, and there was another one, another bare exposed wire there from that component to there. So I mean, I can clean those up a little bit afterwards, but that's all it was. That's why the controller port was not working right. So before I just whiz that board off, let's just take this memory off here, because we need the memory for the other board. Hopefully things, as I say, things will get a bit easier when that 8 meg sim arrives in a few days. What day is it today? It's Wednesday, is it? Or is it Thursday? It's Wednesday. You never know, it might be by the end of the week. So let's just put that one up there. Bring this one down. You know, and this one's got a battery on there. It's got some scratches on it, that battery. That's the old one actually that came from Cather's board. It was a bit low, it's like 2.8 volts or something. I'm just using that for testing. But so what else do we need here? We need the CPU card, which is where is the CPU card gone for that? Have a look over the other side. Hang on. Oh, it's over there. Yeah, so I mean, have we got the ROMs the right way around there? I don't know. I hope nobody's already told me that I've got those the wrong way around with respect to the high and the low. But we'll soon find out. If it doesn't boot, I'll just have to swap them around. So let's carefully get the IDE on. Check over the top of it. It's okay. I'll disconnect the logic probe now. We don't need that. Power. hang on, let's just move that switch over there like that. So we need the RAM. Where's the RAM? Find the 2 meg sim. I think it's probably a 4 meg sim that. You can get 2 meg sims, maybe it is a 2 meg sim. But you can get, I think a 4 meg will work in here and an 8 meg as long as it's the double-sided type, you know, the double bank type. Not missing anything there, am I don't think. Switch it on. See what happens. Nothing. I think those ROMs are around the wrong way, if I'm honest. Because I didn't see an activity there, I'm just getting a black screen. So yeah, my first thought would be ROMs around the wrong way. So let's just disconnect that. I mean, it could be that IC's not right, I don't know. I hope we got it on the right way around. Let's try and just reseat these if I can. Good God, that's well and truly in there this time. Oh, let's just take the IDE off. Just gonna make it a bit easier, isn't it? My goodness, these are, I don't know whether it's the legs on those other chips are slack or something, but I can't even get under this. It's well and truly wedged in there. Let's try and push that side down a little bit. Why can't I get under there? Yeah, there we go. That's one, stick it there. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is about these chips, but they're really stiff in the sockets. Good grief. There we go. It's come up on the wrong side now. There we go. You know, I've never had so much trouble. There we go, getting a chip out of the socket. So let's stick that one in that side. And on the other side. And as I say, these might not work. I might need to go and search through my chips in a minute. I've got those right way around on. Yeah, that's right. Might need to go search through my chips, see if I can find my other set of Kickstart ROMs. Let's try that. I haven't got the IDE connected now, but let's just see if that comes up with Kickstart. Yeah, it's come up. Let me show you. There we go. Woohoo! So thanks to whoever donated those Kickstart 3 ROMs. They've come in handy. I will get Kickstart 3 for this. 3.1. I'm not sure when, maybe next month or something I'll get some Kickstart ROMs for this. So we've got the IDE connected again. Go on, let's stick the RAM in this one as well, and we'll just leave this one on test while we go over there and waffle about some of the other things and what have you in a minute. I'll catch up with the chat in a sec. Sorry if I'm missing any obvious or important things here. Is that in? Yeah, that's not going in very well, is it? That's alright. Yeah, sorry, it's not particularly exciting, is it, watching me stick Sims in the board? Switch it on. So I'll just check the chat home. Yeah, that's not booting from the hard disk now. What is going on there? Why is that not booting? Maybe the compact flash card wasn't in properly. Yeah, this is the other board. This is one that should boot from IDE, but isn't doing. What? I think I've got an IDE problem. I'm not missing anything there, am I? We've got the power on. It's definitely aligned right. Yeah, that is not booting. It's going straight to straight to Kickstart. You know, the workbench, whatever screen, you know, there. It's going straight there. So, it's got me a little concerned. Let me try the other compact flash card. It's a long shot, but I don't think that's going to be it, because I think it would still see a flicker there. I don't even think it's looking at the IDE. So I'm just catching up with the chat. Are there markings on the silk screen for the board with the ROM chips? Yeah, there are on the silk screen. It's just like D0 to D15, D16 to D31. So you can tell which one's the low and the high in terms of the board, but the chips themselves have just got like a cryptic part number on, so you've got to work out which way around they are. And actually I went in the numeric sense, you know, so like one's got a number that's higher than the other, so I put the one that was higher in the higher slot, and actually that's wrong. We've swapped them around the other way. Right now I'm just confused as to why this has decided to suddenly stop booting from IDE. Actually, this, funnily enough, this is the one that had an IDE fault originally, but it was related to something else. Soldering's all right around there. I wonder if I should just try that other compact flash adapter, because this is the compact flash adapter that did not work at all. I've removed it a few times, haven't I? You know, pulling it like this, and I didn't solder every single pin on the connection at the bottom, so I don't know, maybe it could be something like that. Let's just try it again. I hope it's now not got an IDE fault. There may be another stream tomorrow where we try and work out what the problem is with this IDE now. Yeah, let me go and get that other adapter, and I'll be back in a second. Just give me a minute. Okay, I got another adapter here. This was the original one that was on here that had been reflowed and it should be working. I suspect it's not going to be the adapter. I suspect we've now got something else with this. I've not got any bent pins there, have I? No. So I put that one there. Stick the compact flash card into that. Connect it up. Make that there. Switch it on. Nope, it's not hitting the hard disk now, is it? Oh god, this is one of these ones that's never going to end, this repair, is it? Switch it off again. I'm trying to think what I might have done here. Let's get the logic probe connected up again. I am wondering if there's probably one of those gowls over there that is killing the chip here, because that's a possibility. Now I think about it. That might be what's happening with this board. So let's switch it on again. Let's just have a look around this chip here. So we've got pulsing, that's correct. It's an inverter, this. So if you've got whatever you've got on the input, so we're looking at an input there. Can you see the logic probe? Yeah, I think you can. Yeah, so it's inputs pulsing, it's outputs pulsing, an input pulsing, output pulsing, input pulsing, output pulsing, so it's not that. Let's just check the other side. So we've got VCC there, that's an output, I think. I forget which way around there. That's the correct, that's pulsing still. That's pulsing high, that's pulsing low. Last pin, got nothing there, have we, on that last pin? Why have you got nothing on the last pin? Maybe it's not used, it's got a low there. There should be something there though, because it's got a low on one side, nothing on the other. Maybe that pin's not connected to anything. Nevertheless, that's not the that's not causing us our IDE issue, is it? Let's just, I'm trying to think what else to do here. Let's try reseating the, sorry, knocking the camera. Let's try reseating the processor card. I can't imagine that would be the issue, but I don't know, let's say one address bit is not making a good connection or something. No. Well, I'm quite upset with that actually, because that now means you've got an IDE fault to resolve again. Someone said might be a RAM issue. Hang on, what's that on? Something else. Are you talking about this board, or I don't think you get a RAM issue with. Tell you what else we'll do. We'll just take that off. We'll stick diagram back in, and we'll just see what diagram says in terms of the IDE and the RAM. Actually, now I think about it. Let's just pull that out again. Try some corrosion there. No, there isn't. Oh, can we get that ROM out? Just bear with me a minute. Yeah, so I'll just put you down a little bit so you can see a bit better. With this particular board, it did have an IDE fault, but it was related to that chip we've just checked, actually. That was the issue. Now we know that that chip is alright. Look, it's coming up on one side, it's not coming up on that side. Oh, wow. Wow, I'm truly stuck in there. Try and get that one out. Oh, good God. I think I'm jinxed today. I think we had a successful day yesterday. So, yeah, lower averages says everything's going to go wrong today. So let's get the high ROM into the high slot. And the low ROM to that side. It's just, hang on, have we got a bent pin there? We've got a bent pin there, look. Has that been pushing out the thing? Oh, I reckon that's what it was. I think we had a bent pin. I don't know how. It must have been... I'm sorry, has anyone been telling me that? I'm sorry if I've missed it. Someone's been pointing that out. Bent pin. Maybe that's it. I won't be surprised if that's it. So, yeah, Occam's razor again. Simplest explanation being the most likely. I hope so. I hope that's it. So, let's switch that on. And I'll just point you at the Mega Drive. Sorry, the screen. Perhaps zoom a little bit if I can. Yeah, not that much. Yeah, there we go. So if I connect the mouse up, connected. Yeah, there we go. So I forgot to drive tests, Gary IDE. Yeah, there, look, see? I don't know if you can see that. We're a bit low there, aren't we? Can you see we've got the geometry for the compact flash card there? It says Rev version 2. It even says CF card. Can you see that? So it's working. I think it's me being a complete muppet, and I think somehow I bent that pin. I think so. So I think if we just I'll catch up with chat, pull it out there. Hang on. I'm sorry, it's like best laid plans. This was going to be a really super simple video where I demonstrate this board working again. Yeah, that was never going to happen, was it? It was always going to be, I was going to do something stupid to the IDE socket or something. I don't understand how I couldn't see it bent. I mean, we may find it still doesn't boot again. Maybe there is something weird going on here. I might even need to reseat that buster, because this board has not been tested with that buster, and that buster was in and out of that other board, which had a pretty fluxy socket, didn't it? Now I've got to try and work out which one of these ROMs is the low one and which one's the high one now. I think that one's the high one. I hope it is. Let's get that back onto there. CPU card in. Make sure nothing's shorting. Switch it on. Still not booting. Oh. Good God. Right, okay, I'm going to think Buster now, actually, at this stage. Would Buster cause that, though? I don't know. What else could it be? Let's just take the RAM out of it again. I don't think the RAM could cause that. You never know. I don't know. I've never seen the RAM cause that behaviour before. What we do know is that Diagrom was able to query it okay, wasn't it, the drive? Yeah, it's not, that orange light there is not coming up, and it's just going straight to the sticker disk in screen. Anyway, let me just take a break. Let me just read the chat in case someone's suggesting something. So I had someone that said that left ROM isn't in properly. Yeah, it is. It might not look it. Looks to be up slightly. Yeah, it might be. But if the ROM was the problem, it wouldn't even boot. That's the thing, it's booting. Right, Retro Gaming, it's Gadget UK again. Diagrams coming out nice and easily. Yeah, the diagrams come out nice and easily. It's those Kickstart 3 that seem to get pretty wedged in. So, what can we do now? Still not doing it. Let's just try, and again, don't do as I do, because I'm always telling people not to do that. You can see that came, you know, I didn't have that to press there, look, it's coming out really easy, that. Let's just take that out and try and reseat it. I think I'll just wipe the pins, actually. Let's feel if it's sticky. Yeah, a little bit sticky. Let me just get some IPA. I'll just stick that there a second. Get some IPA. I don't know how Buster could cause that, but I'm just clutching at straws. I'm clutching at straws here. It's entirely possible that we still have an IDE problem, because Stephen did say that he thought one of these boards had or needed a new IDE GAL. But this board hasn't been successfully booted with this Rev 11 Buster. And in fact, the Rev 11 was on the other board, and that board was never even booting up. So, yeah, I wonder if you should take the other Buster off the other board. Let me do that. We'll just stick the one that we know works in, and then we can test the other one in the other one, if that makes sense. Because you never know, it could just be that Rev 11 Buster is doing something strange and is actually a fault. I don't see how it would affect the IDE, because I really don't know enough about it. So this is a Rev 9 Buster, Super Buster. So let's try that, see what happens with that one. Nope, it's just the same, innit? Oh, it never ends, this. I thought we were done. All we've done here is highlight a problem with the other board. Stuck that Rev 11 in the other board for now. Strange how Diagram can see it, isn't it? Let's try the other compact flash card again, because I have swapped the compact flash card back over, haven't I? But having said that, Diagram was quite happy about reporting its geometry and stuff, so it's like it's failing to even poll it. I mean, the fact it boots up with a floppy drive bit straight away really quick, there's no like 30-second delay like you normally get. That's really weird in its own right. That's really, really weird. I didn't bridge any pins or anything. Let me just inspect that area that I've just worked on. Just give me a sec. I'm just going to have a look at the board. I'm going to look at the underside of it as well. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong on the underside. The IDE pins look alright. I can perhaps show you this in a minute. I mean, hang on a minute. One of the pins there is a little bit bent downwards, isn't it? Maybe it's not making a connection in the socket. Yeah, let me see if I can show you this. Let me just get the pliers. Just hang on a minute. And again, I'm clutching at straws with this. This has probably got nothing to do with it, but we've got to at least consider it, I guess. Can you see these two pins here? This one was the one that was bent out a little bit, and it still is. It's kind of pointing to the left a little bit. There. Let's see if I can straighten it with these. I know you can't see, so I'll try it from that angle. It's quite hard trying to do that way. It might be easier just to push it as I was doing here. Yeah, it's still not totally straight, and that one there is kind of off a little bit. Anyway, that's better than it was, for sure. I'm doing it left-handed here. Yeah, would that cause the problem? I don't know. I don't think so. But I mean, the thing with those compact flash adapters, they're super cheaply made, you know. So maybe it isn't making a connection. Let's try it again. So we'll get the compact flash on first. That there. Zoom you out a little bit. Hang on, if I can. Sorry, still zoomed in. What is going on here? There we go. Disconnect the power here. Let's try it again. Nope. Oh, God. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I can't think what else would cause it. Honestly, can't think what else would cause it. The RAM's going to be nothing to do with it. It's got to be a bad connection or something somewhere. Oh, one of those gals has developed a fault. Try a different CF card. Yeah, I've tried that. It's really annoying. It's giving up super quick as well. Let me just show you. Normally, if I just point you to the TV, hang on. Normally, if you've not got an IDE connected, in fact, let's just do that. Let's just disconnect it and see how long it takes. Hold on. See how long it takes to come up with the, you know, stick a disc in screen. Because it should be about 30 odd seconds. Look at that, straight up. I think that tells me that it's something to do with the interface it can't see, actually. It's giving up looking for the thing really quick. Oh, hang on a minute, someone said maybe a version mismatch. Ah, I think you're right, actually. I think you're right. That could be it. That could be it. Maybe because I'm using Kickstart here from an Amiga 1200. Yeah, yeah. There must be a difference. Please start posting if you know. Is there a difference between Kickstart 3 on a 1200 and Kickstart 3 on a 4000? I mean, they could well be, because obviously the things, it's got different chips, isn't it? It's working a different way. So it stands to reason that maybe, yes, someone said yes. Okay, well, I'm going to be so much happier if that's the case, because, and that would explain how Diagron is, someone said bound to be different hardware. Yeah, but what I wasn't sure about, you see, is whether there was a unified version of 3, whether 3 was just a standard version, like, here you go, this is our first version of 32-bit Kickstart, let's stick it on a 1200, let's stick it on a 4000, you know, like with a unified SCSI driver or something, one that works with both, I don't know, what's it classed as in here? Is it going to be coming from Fat Gary? In fact, it's not really done by Fat Gary, is it? It's done by that discrete logic there. So let's try these ones. So we'll get those MX ones off. And the MX ones are what, in retrospect, what shipped with the 1200. I just hope this is just me being stupid here and learning something, rather than we've now got an IDE fault. And I think it's the former rather than the latter, because Diagrom was polling the drive, wasn't it? It was going, yeah, your drive's all right. You've got a drive. It's a compact flash card. I mean, that doesn't prove everything. There might be a fault. It may well be that you can poll it and see a drive, but then you can't do something else with that drive. Does that make sense? Anyway, this is a good example of how I am a novice. Hang on, we got. No, we haven't. Thought we'd have bent pin there. How I am a novice. I am not an expert. I am learning all the time about these things. So let's get the CPU card back in. Someone said try 3.1. I've not got 3.1 on 2 chips. I have inside my 1200. But anyway, this should work. Let's try this. If this works now, so I'll point you down. Sorry, couldn't see anything I was doing there. I was just reconnecting everything up. Change the ROMs over. The that are on there now are the ones from the other board that we know boots the hard disk. Ah, there you go. It's flashing already. Oh, there you go. What a muppet! I am an absolute muppet. I thought it was being clever by get 2 lots of Kickstart 3 going here, and yeah, you can, but obviously the Kickstart 3 from 1200, as we've just learnt, will not boot 4000. So I'll put those back in the storage container. I'll point you with the screen. I think, is it still booting? I've not been watching it. There's a chance now, actually, I need to get the RAM in there, because you can see it stops. I think it's not got sufficient RAM. This version of... Oh, sorry. It was bound to happen. At some point it was bound to happen. Yeah, the version of Workbench that's installed on a compact flash card, it needs more RAM. There's not enough RAM there. It will just literally just do nothing. It stops halfway through the boot if you've not got sufficient RAM. So we'll get the RAM back in there now, I think. Is that clips there? No, it's not, is it? Sometimes these little clips can be really difficult to... There we go, that's alright. Get that one in there. Sorry, I've been missing so much here, including probably some suggestions there to test that with another Kickstart 3. So let's try that again. Yeah, it's booting again. So I'll point you at the screen. Let's see what happens this time. And again, I might need to swap the compact flash card over, because... No, it's booting, I can see it booting. The compact flash card that's there, I can't remember whether it's the one I'm supposed to be using or not. One of them's a bit more, let's say, problematic at loading certain games and things. No, that's working, look. There we go. So both boards are back up. Stick the mouse in. Yeah, both. And we need audio. You can't see what I'm doing, I'm just plugging the audio connectors in. We'll put Pinball Illusions up again on this one, I think. Hang on. There we go. So we've got mouse, we've got fast RAM there, we've got chip RAM. Let's go into games. Let's load something else. I'll stick Aladdin on. And then I'll perhaps come and show you a few of the things on the map there. Hang on. Right click. Yeah, so it's flickering. It's flickering, but that's just my TV with this interlace mode. Aladdin AGA. Double click. So just looking back at the messages now, let's see all the people telling me about the different Kickstart versions. Chris, don't use that version of Kickstart, it doesn't work with an Amiga 4000. Raw Talent, hi buddy, nice to see you again. Mike Simcox, will it boot from a floppy disk? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would have done. I didn't try that, but my focus really was entirely on the IDE there. Was that frozen? Yeah, this is what I was showing you before. I showed you this on the other board. I don't think you saw it at the beginning of the stream. Let's switch it off and on again. This is the same problem, exactly the same thing that you saw, and this is on the other board. It's this compact flash card. I'm sure. Let me try the other one actually. Let's switch it off. One of these, yeah, this one's the one for the 060, and I think I've had more success with this one, so I'm doing it again. Right, so this is with the 060 setup from Super Duper. But again, you can still see the same sort of thing where occasionally you'll just get a black screen, you switch it off and on and try the same game again, and then it's alright. But both boards do exactly the same thing, so I'm convinced there's no fault there. I think it's It's something to do with these compact flash cards or the way they've been set up. So yeah, Timo Momo was saying it might be a version mismatch, and that was when I started going away looking at the ROMs to consider that maybe 1200 ROMs wouldn't work with the IDE on a 4000. Well, there you go. You learned something if you didn't know it. I've learned something. Let's try Aladdin again. And of course, there's not much difference between the two systems really. And obviously, you've got the Super Buster on a 4000, but the main backbone of the system is identical. Really, it's obviously just the IDEs must be different. How's it done on the 1200? I can't remember. It's done by another custom, isn't it? A different custom, one that this doesn't have. What am I looking for now? Aladdin AL. I always test Aladdin because I like the music on it. It's really good. And it's AGA. That's another thing I like to sometimes let it go through the demo to test out the graphics side there. So yeah, Matt Larson. So he was using different Kickstarts yesterday when IDE was working. I've got two lots of Kickstart 3 ROMs here. Yeah, I've got the set that Stephen provided. Those are the ones it's frozen again. Look, those are the ones we've been using to test. Why is that not working now? Let me try it just to save on the caches, because I've also found this as well, and again it could be something to do with this, the way this has been set up, these compact flash cards. If I save the caches, sometimes that solves it. DH0. Yeah, so coming back to your question there, Matt, about using different Kickstarts. The Kickstart 3 that Stephen provided, I've been using that all along, that works. Everything boots from that, no worries at all. That's what we used yesterday. But today, as I've come to refit that F86 chip on the other board, the one we used as just temporarily as a donor, I tried to get clever and I thought, well, rather than swapping the ROMs around, I'll go and find some Kickstart 3 ROMs that I know I have. So I stuck my Kickstart 3 ROMs into this board, and obviously we found we couldn't boot from it because the Amiga 1200 Kickstart 3 ROMs. Oh. Try again. Is it going to do it again? Is it going to black screen on us? Yeah, it's not. It's not starting, is it? What's that all about? What is that all about? But I am convinced it's not a fault. I'm convinced it's not a fault. Let's try the pinball illusions, because we're not getting anywhere with that, are we? So obviously some more testing is required on this. I'm not 100% confident these are right. It could be, well, I don't know. Could be a fault somewhere. I do know I found the same issue before. On the other board, before the stream started, I tested Aladdin on it. The first 2 times I got a black screen, the 3rd time it started. I don't understand what it is. Don't understand what it is. It could just be the compact flash cards as well, by the way, because some IDE controllers don't work very well with certain compact flash cards. Now, whilst these work fine in the Terrible Fire products, they might not work very well with this. So let's try Pinball Illusions again. We know that works on the other one, but even that, once or twice I've found it black screens, and then you load it again and then it's alright. So yeah, there's no rhyme or reason to it. So Pinball Illusions, AGA. Now, maybe the RAM is not right on this. Maybe got a bad connection on the RAM or something. No, that's loaded. Look, I think. Will it start? Yeah, that's working. And this is the thing. This is what makes me think that there isn't actually a fault here, and the issue is that compact flash card. Actually, well, both of them. They're the same make. That's the problem. I haven't got another one to test. Yeah, someone said sure RAM is okay. We'll test that in a minute. We'll boot from floppy and we'll just check it out, but I'm sure it is. And there's a nice tip there from Dave's Game Room as well. Just check the slave file for WHD load. Yeah, the properties on it, you mean like the tool tips and stuff, you know, just the prefs, you know, is it preloading it, is the MMU disabled, etc, etc. Yeah, that's fine, but I've not got the keyboard at the moment. I've not got the keyboard connected up. You really need a keyboard to be able to do that, to type some of those things you need to change. Yeah, I'm sure they're all right. I'm sure these boards are okay. I'm out of the stress zone now where I was 10 minutes ago. 10 minutes ago I was convinced there was something wrong with the one of the gals. It's easy to go off that tangent though. You can see that. I think if you hadn't been here, my next thing I would have been taking it over to the mat and resoldering things, inspecting things. Yeah, I could have gone around in circles with that one for a while, I think. I'm going to stick a label on those two Kickstart ROMs actually, just to say 1200. So I never have that situation again. Sweet. Right, let's connect to the floppy drive. We'll just quickly test the RAM. Put you down there again. So yeah, this board is now sweet. Just some real-time clocks and we're all done. Well, and a bit of cleaning. There's just the odd thing. What am I doing with that? There's just the odd thing, trace and stuff to clean up. I'm looking for the floppy drive now. I've lost it. It's migrated. Where has it gone? Oh, it's there. Yeah, so let's just shove that there. What am I doing here? There we go. But there was definitely a bent pin as well. That was the first problem we had, I think. Although I'm pretty sure it was connected. It was a little bit bent inside the connector, but it was connected. So we got that. We just need power. Yeah, it's pretty precarious the way I'm testing it here, all balanced out like this on a box. It's not ideal. Switch it on. So we've got sys test in. And pointing you back at the TV, you can see sys test there. Why does it zoom so much like that when I just try and zoom a bit? So if we go to memory, you see there 16 meg fast, test all memory. So let's leave that going just for a minute. It shouldn't take too long to do one pass. The CPU on these, I think, stock 25 megahertz. That's an interesting topic for discussion. If anybody knows the answer, can you overclock them? Is there any way you can overclock these, or would that result in overclocking the motherboard? I do know that, you know, obviously external, you know, the CPU cards that from, you know, other suppliers and things like the one that Chucky does, it's got an 06 cell on it. The speed of that is dictated by stuff on the card itself. You know, it's got its own little crystal and clock gen circuit on there. And presumably it doesn't affect anything to do with the Amiga motherboard. The Amiga motherboard still runs at its default, you know, the chips and things run at default speeds. But you know, when you start swapping out crystals on this board, on the main board, something like this, it's got what's on there now, 50 megahertz crystal, I think. I think that might be the main one. Although there's a 28 point something megahertz crystal. Either of those might derive the CPU clock. I don't know. You might get divided down. You could increase it, but then you start overclocking some of the chipset. You know what? I wouldn't do that. If you're overclocking things like Lisa and Alice and things like that, yeah, don't go near that. Don't do overclocking. I think overclocking is bad. I don't like overclocking. Which leads me to a video I saw this morning, actually. I forget the name of the channel, but there's a guy in America that does lots of stuff to do with PC hardware. Really good channel. It's something like Nexus Gaming or something like that. And he was talking about the mod, the common mod that people do into graphics cards, modern GPUs. You know, you spend £500 upwards on a GPU, and what do you do with it? You go out and get liquid metal, I think they're calling it. It's like gallium or something, and sticking it over one of the sense resistors there. There's like a resistor use, you know, what to call it, resistor used to sense current, and they're shorting it out with some liquid metal so that they can overclock it and put more power into the GPU. I'm like, really? You've got to be completely off your rockers to try and get an extra, you know, what, 15% or something out of your GPU just because you can, when you've spent £500 upwards on it. And these are the same people that, you know, in 3 years they'll be selling that card, and faulty, it won't be working. You know, they'll burn the hell out of it. By the GPUs, you'll know this yourself. GPUs, even when you don't overclock them, they die from exhaustion after a few years anyway. The last lot of NVIDIA ones I've had, they haven't lasted any time. I think I had some 8800 GTXs, and you know what? I was lucky. I got 5 years out of them. And then one by one, I had 2 of them in the system. One by one, they started dying. The bad solder points and stuff, because they just get so hot. They get so hot. So yeah, if you're thinking about overclocking your anything, don't do it. There's just no point. You just gain next to nothing. The one thing I would say is you can overclock 68,000 processors on their own when it's not affecting anything else in the system. So what I mean by that is, coming back to what I said before, don't overclock the system, the main system clocks. If you can control the CPU clock, as you can on lots of accelerators and things, like the TF accelerators, the terrible fire ones, yeah, you can run a 68030 that's marked 33 megahertz, you get 50 out of it, no worries. And there's a reason for that. When Motorola started manufacturing those processors, they started with an ambition of, we're going to manufacture a certain speed, so like by the time they got to the last generation, or the last manufacturing runs, they were aiming at 50, and they benchmarked them and tested them in terms of temperature, reliability, and anything that didn't meet their criteria was stamped down. So instead of it being a 50 megahertz chip, they'd stick that in the 33 megahertz chip bin or the 40 megahertz chip bin. So it's a little bit different. You could argue it's a similar thing with GPUs, but still, I wouldn't overclock something you paid £500 for or more. Even just a few £100 for, I wouldn't overclock it. Anyway, that's my view. It's only my opinion. I'm sure there's lots of people going to have differing opinions. It's nice to tweak with this stuff, isn't it, and get whatever performance you can out of it. It's not quite the same as tweaking a car to get the best performance out of it, like we used to do in the old days. Now people are performance modding the computers. I'm surprised people haven't started doing it with the phones yet. Let me modify my Android phone to go at twice the clock speed or something. Liquid cooler. So as you can see, we've gone round. We're on pass 3, so that's done 2 whole passes. It starts on 1, so yeah, that's 2 whole passes, I think, if I can count. So the RAM's all right. Everything's fine. There's nothing wrong with this board. Trust me, that black screen thing, it's intermittent with certain games. So like you saw Pinball Illusions AGA came straight up there. Just once or twice I've had a black screen with that on the other board as well as this board. But Aladdin is one of those where most of the time you get a black screen and you just switch it off, switch it on, try it again, and then it works. I've seen that same behaviour before. Anyway, I'm echoing the same things. Right, let's move the camera over to the other side of the room, I think. And I'll just show you some of the extra stuff I didn't get a chance to show you the other day, perhaps. And I can show you that little thing I was been cleaning as well. Yeah, on the side of these boards here, you have these brackets. So you can see that one. I cleaned that up. It's they're zinc plated, so it's going to look a bit uneven. Can you see there's more zinc here? Look, still, it's got like a bluey sort of tint to it. That's a clue that it's zinc, and it's pitted. Can you see here? If we just get a bit closer, you can see the corrosion's literally pitted into that. It's yeah, really badly affected it, but it's fairly clean, that. So that's the good one. But yeah, look at that. They were both like that. Look at the state of that. Would you want to stick that back there? I don't think I would. But that one's ready to go back on. I'll just wipe over that with some WD-40 and then just wipe it dry, just to make sure it stays dry. I can stick that back on. So I've got one of those to do. I'm not going to do it now. It'll bore you, but I'm just going to, scratch it off with the wire brush to start with, and fiberglass pen. And I'll show you, maybe show you a little bit, not all of it, just clean one little bit just so you can see the difference. It does come off pretty easy. Just get the wire brush on there, although the readiness is not coming off, is it, that red bit? And a bit on the fiberglass pen here, let's just extend that. Knocked my IPA over and it's gone into a cut in my finger and it's stinging. Yeah, so you can see a lot of work is going to be required to clean that one up. Anyway, I'll do that after. In the meantime, I'll just show you some of the other bits here that I've not covered. So we got so I think this came from Denmark. It was it Stefan Scotty? I can't even say it. I think it came from Denmark. Yeah, so I've got this. Yeah, that gives it away. It's a Danish C64. What else was there? Got some cap kits here, donated by this amazing company, Retro Bench. So that's the one for the CD32. I can show you the other one here somewhere. Yeah, so that one's an Amiga 1200, so I've got two of those. One for CD32, one for 1200, so we'll be doing a recap of those soon. It's a little bit dusty, this. That's a Div MMC. Is it not Div MMC? Future, it's the Future was 8-bit one. What's it called? Well, mine's gone blank. Div IDE Future or something like that. Future. Let me just look at the comments. Does anybody know what that's called? I'm just having one of those. Div MMC Future, I was right. Div MMC Future, yeah, thanks Dave Curran for that. And a couple of really cool things. Look at that Crazy Blaster. Is that for the VIC-20? I think it might be. It might be C64. Nibbler, that's for the VIC-20. You can see it's a really large thing there. Some flares there from Future was 8-bit. More floppy drives. So I've got a load of stuff in these boxes here, including a load of drives, ST drives, some power supplies down there, as you can see, a C64 one, an Amiga one, that one's ready, there's a video ready to go up on that one actually. An A600 one, and then the lightweight one. That first one there is like the heavy brick. It's a really heavy thing. And then if I just point you here a minute while I just, hang on, move some of this junk out of the way, including my meter. So yeah, there's a box here of things as well. Now, that's a floppy disk, hang on. So I got a load of stuff here, and I forget the name of the person if he's watching. Please let yourself be known. It was on Twitter, he sent me some stuff, sorry, that's separate. The Archimedes, where's it gone now? There it is. It's a joystick interface for an Archimedes, so you plug that in into the mainboard there, and there's some fly-off leads here, as you can see, that have got joystick ports on the end, so that's really cool, and some PCBs to make a kit up. So we've got that as something to do. This was provided, I think, by Alex, the same guy who gave me those ROMs actually. It's for a Gotek. It's a Gotek cradle, you can see there, 3D printed by Hydra. So I mean, he might not have designed it, I don't know, he may not be Hydra, but nevertheless I've got that, and a bracket for that as well, the mounting bracket there for an A600 3D printed. Someone sent me that. I think that may have been Alex as well, actually. A nice Zap64 badge. And then Dennis, who we have in the comments there, is it Retro Revival, your channel, Dennis? I think it is. He's been creating, everything's so dusty in here, I'm really need to vac up and dust all this stuff. He's been making, for the portable Mega Drive, that I forget the name of, the Nomad, a battery pack. So it needs a couple of these cells here, these, what are they, those 18650s. So I ordered them from RS. If you're going to buy some of these cells for anything, try and get, Stephen's here, terrible fight, who stole your furniture? Go away, stop saying things like that. It's, yeah, it's embarrassing. This is what I have to live with, I have to live this way. We do have furniture, it's all in the other room. I mean, we've got some furniture here, you can see there's a chair there, you know, conservatory furniture, got one here, and there's another one over there. Look, this table here, got some chairs, we've got a table with lots of boxes. I'll show you some of the stuff in those boxes in a minute, you might be interested. Yeah, and it's good to see you, Stephen, don't go away really. So you can see a zip drive. This is why I was going to mention Retro Marky. He's just done, it's covered in dust again. He's just done a really good video on these, setting one up on a PC. It's only the 100 model. We do a few different ones of these, don't we? So I've got that and a cable for that. It's the parallel port version, look. So we can connect that, in theory, we can connect that to an Amiga, Archimedes, PC, and maybe some other things, I'm not sure. But certainly those systems. And then a power supply. Got two power supplies for those actually, because my friend Andrew, amongst his stuff, just happens to have some zip power supplies. Got a brand new unopened zip 100 disc there, so I'll perhaps have a look at that. I might do it as a stream, I don't know, we can have a play around and see if we can get the Archimedes or the Amiga connected up to it. And this box of stuff came from Nathan. Alison, you know, I've mentioned Alison loads of times in videos. Her partner Colin, his son Nathan, and Colin sent me these. So this is just some of the stuff they sent me. So I've got like a box of soldering type things. Oh, look at that, I needed that yesterday. When I was trying to support that chip down, I knew I'd seen some blue tack somewhere. Alison just happens to have some in there. Those brass sponge things and some solder and tips. Lots of different tips for different Amtex irons and things there. So those are useful. Some of these things, wire strippers. That's really useful. I didn't know those were in there actually. I'm gonna have to start using those. So you know, you just adjust that there, and that sets the thickness. So you can just literally just crush it and pull, and you're just gonna get the right thickness every single time. So that's useful. This thing as well. I need to try and find a light. It's like a light. You put like a lighter in it, effectively. It's like a cut down version of a lighter. So you stick that in there, and you click it, and let me just hang on to get the chat back again. A sec, it's gone off. Sorry, technical hitch. Yeah, you put a lighter in it, so it's got like some fluid, some fuel, and then you press the button down. And can you see that there? Let's watch. Yeah, see that blue spark? Yeah, I got a shock off that when it arrived. I was like, "What's this here? What's that?" I just like stuck my finger in there and pressed the button down, and got a zap off it. It's like kilovolts or something. Yeah, but it generates a spark there like that, and as you hold it down, you get a gas flame. It's like a butane thing, you know. You could use it to heat shrink things down, but it's going to be super hot. I don't know what else you could use it for. Plumbing stuff, I would think, around the house. I don't know. Lots of this stuff, look, really nice. That one's unused. Different thicknesses of coil wire there. So yeah, it's nice to have those. And then I got a little adapter here that she made herself, which is useful again. You know, plug into your multimeter. You can just stick your console DC jack straight in. You don't have to be faffing around trying to measure it. And then some PCB boards, matrix boards, some copper, you know, prototyping board there. Some picks and things. Those would be useful actually. Files. Yeah, I've got lots of files already, but still, it's useful. Tweezers. And an extractor. That yellow one's an extractor. What's that? Is that more tweezers or something? More files, yeah, more files. So lots of stuff to do with PCB assembly there. And then you saw that drive. You can see the Commodore is the one on top, 3.5 inch. Yeah, so I got that to look at. We've got a SCSI CD-ROM drive down there. I was going to try and get working the 1200. Somewhere else around here was something else. There it is for the 1200 as well. So you can see this is quite nice actually. I've had a play with this already. Sorry, I know the camera's not pointing in the right place here. Yeah, I've had a play with this already. It's a really nice board. It's a SCSI to SD. So you know, you stick an SD card in there. What size is that? Let's just have a look. 16 gig. So yeah, I've got 16 gig SD card in there. And you can configure this using some software on the PC. You connect up via, where do you connect up? Via that micro USB connector there. And using that software, you can say, I want 4 virtual SCSI drives, you know, I don't know, 2 gig per drive out of that 16 gig, or you could do 4 gig. It really depends on the operating system that you're going to, you know, that this is going to be connected up to, as to what the maximum partition size is that it'll support. But yeah, that's really nice. It's a bit big, but then again, it's got mounts here to, you know, fit in place of like, I don't know, a 3.5 inch SCSI drive. So we'll have a look at that at some point. I did start to look at that, so it's on the floor there, isn't it? Put it back in its bag. Yeah, I started to look at that, and it was just taking forever to set up on the A2000. Part of the problem was I was trying to get the SCSI working at the same time as, you know, SCSI CD working at the same time as that, and yeah, it was just proving a little bit stressful. And I think, I'm not sure whether it'll coexist with the terrible. That's the other thing, you need a SCSI interface, obviously. So anyway, let me just put all the stuff back in here. I'll just catch up with the chat. Just put you back on the mat. You can look at the flux. It's very interesting. Yeah, so I'll just put all this stuff back in here. Retro Marky, yes, my PC only has parallel. There's specifically made drivers for pre-286. Yeah, there you go. As you say, you want to check out Retro Marky's video, because he goes into a lot of detail, including how to connect up some of the older XT machines, I think. Which is, yeah, it's very cool. So I think that's the majority of the bits and pieces I was going to show you today. So I might get off in a second. The final thing I'll just show you, I may have shown this in another video. Let me just move the camera a minute. I may have shown this already, but the other thing I got from Nathan, kindly sent me, and I paid him for these actually, but it was still really good of him to offer them to me. So I got this carry case here, and I got a couple of these. I think I photoed these and put a photo on Twitter. So I've got an Atlas Peak, a Peak Atlas LCR meter there, so you can test inductors. That's really nice. The amazing thing is the battery has been in this ever since Alison last used it, and it still works. I took the back off, measured it. They're those little 12-volt cells that you used to use in cameras, and in fact some of the old PCs used to use them as well, funnily enough. Some of the compact motherboards used to use those little 12-volt batteries there. But yeah, that works, no worries at all, and it's the same with this one. Not been used since about 2012, I don't think, and the battery's fine in it again. So this one's semiconductor, so you can test transistors, maybe diodes as well, I think. And then using some of the vouchers I had left over from Christmas, I got the Atlas Peak, and I used to have one of these, lent it to someone and never got it back. But that said, he's given me lots of things in the past, so we're about equal, so I'm not that fussed. Yeah, an Atlas ESR meter, a Peak, made by Peak again. So yeah, that's quite cool. We'll have a look at that at some point. What I've got is I've got a giant bag of capacitors that I've been collecting for the last 5 years. Everything I have removed from the board. When we've done all these, let's recap a board just for good measure. I've kept all the caps, and I've got a giant bag with about 1,000 of them in it. Because my theory is they're probably all going to be alright, and I want to show you that in volume. So that'll be a video in its own right. It won't be very long. I'll speed through it, do it in fast forward or something, and we'll report. In fact, I've got some of the caps here. This is one half of it. Let me show you. Yeah, that's one half. That's not even half. That's about a quarter. I've got another bag with, 3 times fuller than this of caps. I guarantee they're all alright. Which makes you think. That's the thing. It makes you think when you go through volume of things like that. It makes you stop and think, is this a good idea? Why should I be replacing every single cap I come across and every single thing, when actually they're nearly every single one of them will be all right. You tend to know when they're leaking, because yeah, recapping is a good idea just for precautionary measures, but nevertheless that will be interesting to look at. Let's just look and see what else I might have missed here before I get off. Those SCSI to SD cards are super useful in early Macs, but a bit out of my price range. Yeah, that's a good point. They are very blooming expensive. I was reluctant to buy it. I kept looking around, see if there's anywhere selling it cheaper. I think ultimately I ended up ordering from the States, and it was about, I don't know, 30 or 40 pounds cheaper than some of the sellers in the UK. So yeah, I didn't do too bad on that, but they are quite expensive. I seem to have lost the bottle to stick my cap of IPA back into. Oh, it's on the other side of the room, isn't it? Yeah, so you got any questions or anything, guys? I guess I could show you one more thing. If you just have a think of anything you might want to ask me, I'll show you the box of sticks here if I can. Let's just move this out of the way. Yeah. So you can start to see here we got, let's just move that out of the way. Oh, it's going to keep flying over, isn't it? Yeah, so we've got Connex Speed King, Sinclair Light Gun, got a modulator there. This is just full. Zapper for a Nintendo, Zapper for a Famicom, SJS1, Quickshot, rare Commodore, joystick. I'll tell you a story about that. That came with something that was not retro related. It was nothing to do with retro. In a massive box, it just happened to be like stuck at the bottom of it with some bubble wrap. Someone, you can see, has chopped the cable off. So I don't even think they knew it was in there. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with that, because I reckon stick a new cable on that, replace the little leaf type switches or whatever they are inside it. Not leaf, they're those little sticky down ones that are domed, aren't they? And it'll probably work. What else have we got in here? Yeah, light gun for a Saturn. Again, or a PlayStation, missing the cable. So again, I'll stick a cable on that, fix that. What else have we got in here? There is somewhere in there Jaguar controller as well. And then thanks to Andrew. Well, I say thanks to Andrew. I tell you what, he did me a favour by bringing me all this stuff, but he also dumped on me a ton of rubbish. And when I say rubbish, is like a fax machine. I mean, who's going to do anything with a fax machine? It's not even worth showing on my channel. That was when I cut my head on my car that weekend. I was like panicking going to the tip because my wife was away, and Andrew brought round literally a ton of stuff. My house was full. The whole downstairs was full of this kind of stuff, like these crates like this, full of boxes and wires and all sorts of stuff, and they were everywhere. My wife was away, and I was like, oh my God, she's going to go absolutely nuts when she goes back, and it's all over the front room and in the hall and in the downstairs toilet. I needed to deal with it. So I ended up having to rush to the tip, and I was panicking trying to sort my car out, and I had the boot up and the front boot, because my car's got one of these where you stick your stuff in the front of the boot, the front boot. The engine isn't there, the engine's in the back. It's kind of mid based engine, and it was windy that day, and the lid came flying down right across my head, and there was blood pouring down my face. But anyway, I was trying to take lots of stuff to the tip, but these I kept. I was going to give some of these to Jay's Vintage Junk. If anybody else wants any, let me know. They're just like laptop power supplies. I've got loads of them here. A mouse there, a wireless adapter mouse. There is the mouse with that somewhere. But lots and lots of power supplies and cables. I don't know what that is. It's some sort of homemade. It's a variable power supply, isn't it? That's like an adjustable, like a voltage, potential divider. It's got plus and minus. I think that's a variable power supply. USB hub. A ton of old mice. Here, look. Loads and loads of Microsoft mice. Darth Vader mouse. Anyone want a Darth Vader mouse? Let me know. I don't think I'm ever going to use it. But anyway, yeah. So I now need to clean up my mess again. Let me just see if I can turn the camera around. Yeah, so you can look at me instead of the mat. We'll just have a look there. Yeah, I'm super tired. I need to get something to eat. It's not been very exciting today. As I say, I was going to be doing this stuff anyway, so why not just share it with you? Why not share it with you? Still got 18 people. I'm just having a look. Old Microsoft mice, beautiful. Yeah, I do like those Microsoft mice. They've got a nice glossy look to them, haven't they? The tops and things, and they're just nice to use. They got a bit yellow though, so you need to retro brighten them a bit. ZX Renew cable porn, right enough, yeah. There's a few more boxes. I can show you some of the other stuff as well, but yeah, I'll do that in another video. I've got another 3 or 4 or 5 big boxes of stuff here, including that Spectrum that I found yesterday, but a load of drives and connection, like connector things and interfaces, and I've got all sorts of stuff to look at here. I'm certainly going to be really busy for the next month or so. Anyway, I think we've achieved what we wanted to do within this video. I've proven that other board works okay. Yeah, we did hit a bit of a hitch there where I was sweating a little bit that the IDE seemingly had died, but it hadn't. It was just me being stupid. 4x2k3 still have Needham's EMP20 EEPROM programmer from '96. Yeah, some of those nice old EEPROM programmers are more desirable than some of the modern ones. I mean, some of the modern ones do other chips, like EEPROMs and modern devices that you won't get with an old programmer. But some of those old programmers are so desirable for older chips. PLDs and GALs and PALs and things like that. You have a lot more chance with an older programmer. Okay, right, I'm going to get off, guys. Thank you very, very much. Thanks for the comments and things. Sorry if I missed anything. I will watch the video back just to see what I've missed. Yeah, take care, stay safe, and yeah, I might not do one tomorrow. I don't know. I might have a break because you can tell I'm pretty tired. I'm run down. I had the stomach pains earlier and stuff. I'm just really tired, so I might have a break tomorrow. Give me a break tomorrow, and then I don't know, reconvene on Friday maybe, and I don't know, have a look at maybe something else, ZX Spectrum or that C64 you saw in the previous stream. We'll do something. Take care, guys. See you later. Bye bye.